with the upturn in the industry, I think it won't be business as usual. Market's recovering, confidence is back, investors are looking at this sector once again, shareholders are looking at increased activity, and so operators and service companies are going to benefit from that. And the key now is making sure that there's capital discipline in terms of how they take on this new upturn. I think the FPSO industry is getting ready for the recovery, I would say, Holly. Key challenges would be in terms of how they bring the right skilled people back, because they've got that's a big challenge. I think also in terms of how do they take on digitalization and increase automation to gear up for the next wave. And these are the investments that are going to last for the next 20, 25 years. And so you've got to think about not just what's happening in the next 2 years. And so for the life cycle of that asset from an FPSO perspective. So that's going to be the key thing. The cost cutting that's happened over the last few years, I would argue whether all of that is cyclical or structural. And so I think a lot of the service companies need to take a deep, hard look at themselves and see how much of this was structural and how much of it was cyclical, so that they can then gear up accordingly, because the upturn is coming. As you know, there's going to be potentially maybe even up to 10 FPSO awards in the next 18 months, 24 months, globally. And so how are they going to ramp up and deliver that on budget, on time? Well, that's an easy one. Invest in people, technology, and I think that's got to be the two key things you have to do. Everything else sort of sorts itself out. The financials are always going to be looking at where the investments are, what are the returns going to be, right? And so bankable projects need to show that the projects are going to be delivered on time and on budget. If you can do that, then the financial community would be interested to invest in it, because they're after returns. They're not after delays. And so that's the challenge that the FPSO industry needs to kind of come to terms with. And the sector on a whole is looking attractive for financials. But the challenge is going to be how do they compete offshore versus shale. And we've seen in our analysis that offshore projects with the right scale can compete with shale. The break-evens are there. It's about project execution and capital discipline. And so if they can keep focused on that, then I think the financial community will continue to invest, and I think everyone will win from this. What happens next? I think this industry is here for a long time to come. There's a lot of premature discussions about peak oil demand. But even whatever way you look at it, that is not for several decades away. And even then, once you have peak oil, it's not going to fall off a cliff. So, I think the key is that, we have sustainability in the projects, automation in the right way that kind of enhance your efficiency, and then investing in the right people to kind of make sure that there is always going to be a steady stream of people coming through the ups and downs that this cyclical industry is going to have. So that's it.